Welcome, guys, to another quick episode of Weekly Stock Market Recap. So, what on earth happened today in the stock market? We've had some crazy moments here, so we'll have just a quick highlight. Um, Stock market is collapsing, right? You know it. Things are crazy, right? There's fear everywhere. There's feelings all over social media, Twitter, and X. Things are crazy out there. So, but I'm here to say, don't panic. Do not freak out, don't sell, don't run for the doors. It's the party's just getting started. Stay close to the door, grab a drink, chill, relax. You don't lose if you don't sell. The last thing you want to do is sell right now as things are crazy. The market will bounce, it will come back up. It always does. We'll look at that in a minute. We're going to look at the day and analyze what happened and see where we're going to go. And with the key highlight that President Trump gets inaugurated next in the next 10 days. So we're in a huge season here. Fun day because we had the Federal Reserve came out today with one of their announcements with jobs reports, the non-farm payrolls. It's always hard to see here, 8:30 there it is. So again, they came in with more jobs than was estimated by like almost 100,000 jobs. So crazy actual forecast. Again, open to revision, possibly going to be revised next month. The market knows that, the market feels that, so the stock market dropped significantly after this. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear coming in. Other key data that we saw today, unemployment rate slightly down a little bit, might have helped push the market down a wee bit during the midday. The market did rally a little bit towards the end here, towards the close at 4 o'clock here Eastern time. So all in all, not a crazy day, not a crazy bad day of negative data. Things were positive for most part, but it's the employment, right? It's like, can we trust this number? Was there actually that many jobs in December, or are they going to revise that lower like they did back in September? So a lot of mixed feelings. And then next week, next Monday, next Tuesday, we've got some more data coming in. We'll look at that later. But some other things to keep an eye on: consumer inflation expectations is one, and then core PPI might be one to look at too. So we'll keep an eye on that CPI data there on Wednesday the 15th, and all this will lead into, of course, Trump's inauguration on the 20th of January. So yeah, kind of a crazy day. The 10-year note yield jumped 10 basis points. This is what's crazy to me. I mean, the Fed pivot we got last September, we all called it the whole of FinTwit or FinX lost its mind, right? Why did the Fed pivot so early back in September? What's it trying to achieve here? Well, basis points are now up by 120 points. So is the Fed pivot dead? It looks like it. It looks like it's dead. They're clearly not. It's not working like their agenda. What they said, what they wanted to do, and we'll show you that in a second. It's not working. They clearly have messed up here. So these are all serious questions we have to ask ourselves as investors. Like, what's happening? Who controls this chessboard game? And what's the Fed up to? What's the Fed's role? What's Trump's role? What's our role? And how do we make money? How do we navigate this and actually make money this year in 2025? Funny to note is Zuckerberg, Meta, red pill swallowed. He is full Meta, full conservative, full MAGA, either by force or by will. We don't know. But Mark Zuckerberg has changed completely. He was on Joe Rogan today, I think, and he was really calling out the abuse in the Biden administration towards social media, especially Meta, with censorship and social media strong arming them to censor material, right? So Zuck today is completely U-turned. He's reversing meta policies towards DEI and to censorship and to inclusivity and to diversity. He is adding community notes, which is huge. So Zuckerberg is seems to be following Elon Musk. We're going to say Daddy Musk because it looks like he is, which is great to see. So I think Zuckerberg knows the next 4 years is successful with Trump as your ally. Palantir, everyone's darling stock, down significantly since its all-time high on Christmas Eve of last year. So pay attention to this 20% drop since then. That's huge. Let's note this because we want to see if we have chances to maybe buy into these companies. And that's a big one. We like Palantir. We want to add that to our portfolio. Um, I need to get a better system than this, because how the heck do I highlight this? You kidding me? Anyway, Magnificent Seven is, they're all looking down as well. It's been kind of sideways choppy. We'll dive into. And then Delta Airlines is this kind of a sleeper here. They reported good earnings, so their stock jumped by 7%. Who would have thought? Delta freaking Airlines doing well. So let's switch over real quick and we'll look at Palantir. Is the first thing I want to highlight. Um, Again, I put up a quick visual here to see that the drop has been 21% as of the low today. We can change that, maybe adjust that to where we currently are, so 20%. So thereabouts in a 60% range. Um, do we buy this dip? Do we wait? Is Palantir going to drop further, perhaps into the 50s? We don't know, right? No one knows. We zoom out a little bit in the 6-month chart. We'll look at this quickly. It's healthy to see the pullback. We enjoy the pullback. We want to buy in more. I'm a little bit concerned about this mid-range right here. Is it possible to see Palantir go a little bit further into this territory, into these 50s? Because there's not a lot of resistance in that level. I personally will be DCA and in on these drops, so that's going to be an opportunity for me to buy in and add Palantir to my long-term portfolio for the next 5 or 10 years. Love the company. I think they're going to make a lot of money, and we've already covered them too. Their earnings are great, technology is great, their tech stack is great. They're deeply embedded with the government, with Trump, and with other companies. So Palantir, if you don't know anything about them, definitely just look it up. There's better YouTube videos on Palantir than I can do right now. So we're watching that. Magnificent Seven, Nvidia. It had the brunt of it. It had the worst of it today, I think. Down 3%, major sell-off from 150 down to 135, really, in this past few days, this past week. So definitely interesting to me, because I remember the hype. Like, you think about it. Think about the timeline. Jensen right here, super hype, right? Everyone's super excited. Palantir, or sorry, Nvidia to the moon is going up. Let's buy in. Let's buy in. Like AI, next generation, and then plummet down. So this is what you got to be careful about. Day trading, swing trading. It's dangerous, because no one knows the market, and you could get bit pretty hard here if you're buying expensive stocks on hype or on sentiment and news alone. You got to zoom out, see the bigger picture, find the right investments for the long term. And there you can see the 1 year chart. I mean, Nvidia is still in that 130, 150 range, where it's been quite a bit bouncing between this for a few months. Hasn't been as low as $91 for a while, which is sad, because we'd like to buy in here again in the 90s, but this is just something to kind of pay attention to. Know where you are, know where you want to go, right? Apple, again, down 2%. This is what I focus on, really. I want to see how are these companies dropping? Are they in like a 10%, correction territory? Can we look at this real quick and see where 10%, 8%? It's not really the best placement, I suppose, but you're talking maybe an 8% retracement from December 27th. So that's interesting. Keep an eye on that, because if you see this going further towards the 10%, 15% across major stocks, then maybe push the panic button and look to be more conservative in your investments, and double into these companies that you like and you want to hold for a long time. Not financial advice, of course, just one guy sitting at home trying to figure out how to make money and where the market is going to go. And you can see here, Amazon sold off, Microsoft sold off, Google sold off. Meta has been bouncing today, primarily because of Zuckerberg being red pilled. And then Tesla had a bit of a dip and sideways movement today, but otherwise unaffected. Our cheap stocks, we got a bunch being hit hard today. I'm not really invested in most of these, just kind of watch them, because I want to see how the market's going. Sound AI is one I will note. Sound AI has had a huge drop. Crazy parabolic move to the upside, and now with a significant drop here. as of today, really. So these are things that we want to pay attention to. What is causing sound AI's drop? Lack of innovation, I think. Rising too high, going parabolic, and some mediocre unveiling at a tech show in California. See if I can do this again real quick. So like a 41% drop from its all-time high. That's pretty significant. I think it's going to go further into this territory right here, go a bit lower. So yeah, this is all kind of fun, really, right? Things selling off, lots of red, as you can see, lots of opportunities. RKLB down a little bit, not too much. HIM's down a little bit. And then we want to look at Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin having a good day, really, up 2.3% after a pretty huge sell-off on Wednesday. Again, Bitcoin's holding this high 90s. If you can notice this pattern, really. Um, is it going to go higher back into the 104s, the 106, like it did on Christmas, the Christmas rally? Is this the peak? These are all the questions we're asking. Are we going to see Bitcoin drop into the 80s, the 70s, the 60s? This is why 2025 is going to be an awesome year because there could be huge opportunities to make a lot of money. Um, Index funds, VU is the one I like to focus on the most. Bit of a flat day, nothing too crazy going on. Just a lot of money is, being hedged for Trump's inauguration. People are waiting, taking their profits, gathering their cash, setting up their year. It's all a game of chess, really, right? Setting up their board game for this year to kind of buy in heavy and DCA in whenever they want to. Let me change this to our lowest ones. AMD was what I want to talk about real quick, and SoFi. So AMD, I saw it all over social media. Buy, great stock, get in now, going to the moon. Probably like it would have been a few months ago, October, or this period of time. Yeah, it would have been this period of time. This is why you don't just follow the hype. You do your own research. Like understand these companies. AMD, I was considering buying this company because of again all of the drama online. But the more I looked at it, the more I was like, well, why am I going to buy this? It dips, it gets bought, serious dips, keeps going down, and I personally think it's got further to go. Um, I need to investigate the chip sector more, but the more I read and understand the chip sector, the more I ask, why is AMD going to go higher than 115? How do you compete with Nvidia and the other chip companies? Um, I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about. I don't like the popular narrative if it's not supported by fundamentals. It's a good company, of course, but Nvidia seems to be far and out there. Like the company, if I'm going to put money into chips, I'm going into Nvidia because what they're doing. And then SoFi, I don't think we talked this yet. SoFi is sticking in this range, this $14 range, 13, 14, $15 range. And it doesn't make sense because this company is killing it. Their earnings is on fire. I think they've actually, yeah, they brought forward their next earnings. Funny enough, they brought it forward. Why? I would say because they want to show the market that they're killing it and they're not scared, they're not worried. And with this next earnings on the 27th, I personally think it's going to jump up to the $17 range and hopefully make some nice profit. So that's it for our popular ones. Mr. down quite a bit into the 327s, following Bitcoin, of course. Um, I guess the most important things, a few companies I'm watching this year because I want to keep an eye on them. We've kind of already talked about most of them. Nike is one I'm keeping a close eye on too. I've always been a fan of Nike. I think we all have, of course, Air Jordan and the brand. So I think there could be a good opportunity to pick up Nike for the future. I would like to get it back down here, which, sorry, it is, forgive me, it is in that $71 range. So it is back to its all-time lows. So popular narrative, I did hear a lot of folks touting buy in the high 70s. So here we are about a month later, and it's back to the all-time lows of last July. And I think that's the all-time low in, of course, recent history, being really here of May of last year, right? Yeah, May of 24 last year. So keeping a strong look on Nike because you're buying in here. I'm so sorry, I misread the time. That's 2017, 2016. It's back at those levels. So think about that. Are we seeing a buy? Are we seeing a major buy opportunity here for Nike based on the past 5 years technicalities? Look at this. Earnings have been up, up, up. So dividends are decent-ish, I think. Income statement is positive and doing reasonably well. Um, let's pull that up actually real quick. NKE on our visual stocks because this is one I've been meaning to look at a bit more detail, and I want to see it right now while we're recording this live. No filter. Revenue is mostly flat, slight dip, but nothing crazy. PAL revenue is good. The Converse revenue has been coming down. That makes sense. Converse, I don't see anybody wearing Converses these days. Cash flow, not bad, not negative. It's good. Revenue is the important one, of course. This is not bad data. Again, we're thinking about the low back in 2020, where it was in 2020. So revenue 2020 is right here. So they're making more money since 2020, but they're trading the same level. When you do a deeper dive into this, net income is good, cash flow, cash to debits. Again, shout out to Visual Stocks, Alejandro, fantastic website. Please sign up and become a member here, whether you pay or not. Do the free one, but this is a fantastic website. So Nike is a big one I'm watching this year. I'm going to do a standalone video on Nike. I would like to learn more about it. So that's really it for the market. Crazy day, going to be a fun weekend to relax, and then we go again next week, right, and see how everything shakes out. A few important things on Twitter to talk about: the Kasobi letter. Subscribe, sign up to this guy. He's fantastic. This whole company is great. Really good overview here. I'm going to actually repost this as a quote. Must read. Really, again, like we talked about, the economy posted more jobs in December by 92,000. So huge uptick. 6 months average of 2024 and the Fed rates were delayed. The Fed's messed up. So you can sort of see here, say on the narrative of why the stocks crashed. Is the economy doing well? Will there be revisions? The Fed's policy statement from September 2024, since they did a rate cut of 50 basis points for the first time since '08. And again, we were all highly critical, not just the Kasobi letter, but it seems to be their mandate hasn't quite, been been successful, supporting maximum employment. So a lot of things going on here, of course. Yeah, I think the Fed rate cut is officially over its dead. The pivot, Powell may have messed up when he cut back here. The 10-year Treasury's soaring, which sucks for a lot of us. We'll skip that. This one, here we go. So gold prices in the US dollar rising in a sharp upward trend. It never really happens. Inflation is back, uncertainty is rising, and gold has become the global hedge. Interesting. So a lot of data to think about over the weekend. I would say get a glass of bourbon, grab a cigar, chill, relax, and focus on your future, your investments, and do what's best for you, do what's best for your family, and make sure you're investing in the right stock. So hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Peace.